Hi, my name is Pankaj Upadhayay. You're watching me on my second episode of Outside the Box. Today, the guest of honor is not one person but two, a very dear friend of mine from the creative circle, Sanjucta. I'm a big admirer of her crooning and putting out Bengali songs and other songs, and also dabbling her hands into other creative stuff. But I through her, I also got to meet another gentleman, her better half, Rabirashmi Ghosh. Besides his technology field, has recently ventured into a t-shirts brand business. Only 3 weeks old and already making a lot of noise within the social media, within the South Asian diaspora and network already. So, without further ado, let's talk to Rabi Rashmi Ghosh and understand about this brand.
Thank you, Pankaj. My growing up years, they were spent moving from one place to another in India. Mostly small towns, but some big cities too. And moving from place to place, all I did essentially was soak up in the feel of the place, its art, culture, language. So when I grew up, and in terms of education, I went through an engineering degree, and that took me to a technical profession path. My passion for art always remained alive. So I have been expressing myself in one way or the other, primarily through writing. I completed my and published my first novel, The Gods of Sumeru, in 2014. And after that, I have been writing a lot in Bengali, which is my mother tongue. So I wrote a full drama and then also wrote a dance drama, which was staged in Sydney, and a whole bunch of poems that were published in various online and offline platforms. So, so my focus was more on writing, and that's primarily because the other aspects of art, like the performing arts or the visual arts, like when you try to draw something. So those are the things where I was not trained as such formally. And even though the ideas were there in my head, now I could not very well visually express myself with a paintbrush. So there was a gap between what I was dreaming in my head and what was the output that I was able to see. Now, when generative AI came into the picture, so I was really excited because that helped me to bridge the gap between what I was able to imagine and what I could see in front of my eyes. And then I started playing with generative AI. I started generating various pieces of art, slowly putting them out on Facebook and sharing with friends. And I saw that they were drawing an extremely good amount of response, and people were really excited. They were finding them beautiful, and even I found them quite aesthetically pleasing. And at one point, I thought, why not take this forward and make this available to people in a more tangible form, like something which they can touch and feel, their t-shirt.
Right.
And there began the journey of AestheteHub.
Beautiful. I think so. Art and technology mixed with a very rich personal experience, right? So, which is very, very comfortably blending in. And through this brand as well. You touched down upon generative AI. For a layman, for a person who is not very technology savvy or initiated, what exactly is this?
So that is where AI generates different things, like it could generate text, or it could generate an image, or it could even possibly generate a video. So all of these different outputs are possible by feeding certain prompts to it. So I mean, everybody today knows about ChatGPT.
Right.
They ask it a question, and like you tell ChatGPT, okay, please give me a template CV, or give me a template letter to write to someone. So it'll give you that. I mean, so that's generative AI. The same thing can happen in case of images. There are slightly different techniques involved there, but essentially it's the uh, AI that is generating the output.
Okay. Thank you so much. Before we move on to the next topic, Rabi, I would like to, also understand the background of Sanjukta, your better half.
Sure. About my background, Pankaj, it's kind of similar to Ravi's, but I don't have that huge gamut of knowledge or creativity which he is having at the moment. So my involvement is minimal. However, like just to introduce myself, I hail from the beautiful city called Guwahati in India. So the education and growing up has been pretty much there. I did my master's in computer applications and then moved to Bangalore, worked for companies like Accenture and Infosys. So pretty much a technical person again on the work front, but when I step out of work, I pretty much live in a creative world. Creativity surrounds me, or rather, I make my world that way, listening to a lot of good music or trying to play something in an instrument, or it could be listening to some poetry, or sometimes conversation of certain journalists who did coverage or interviewed a struggling actor. It could be anything. When I was a child, someone asked me, "What's the motto of your life?" So I think at that time I said, "Create and explore." I didn't think much. And even if somebody asks me today, I would say it's the same, because every day is kind of a learning for me. It's about learning new things, new technology, or maybe a new recipe. So that really excites me to do something new. And at this moment, at AestheteHub, it's more of Ravi's effort, the designs which he's creating, or the way he has set up the website or the page. The way I am trying to help here is to promote it to the wider audience as much as possible, and also to do a peer review kind of thing with the designs. Like when he does 3D design, okay, somebody has asked for a theme, they're going on a holiday, and they need a similar T-shirt for themselves as a group. So what do you think would fit the best? So I think they will like this design, and then it works out like that. So I really I'm enjoying doing that. And every morning I wake up and the first thing I ask is, "Did you make any new design last night?" So that's the first question. Yeah.
So you have been, so glad to learn about you more, Sanjukta, very formally. And also, I think the Explorer has not settled in yet, even in Sydney, after so many years since your education. So that exploration part should continue to remain as is.
I think it will continue for lifelong, because
absolutely.
it's an ocean. Knowledge and everything is an ocean. So
yeah, and it's a beautiful thought too. Beautiful thought too. Thank you for that warm introduction, and also thank you for giving support to your better half, and also, and doing the hard bit as well. Doing the marketing bit and creating awareness and within the network and outside, which is a very mammoth task. You can only create a good dish, but how do you take that dish to the patrons and make it a big hit? So that is where.
Thanks for lending out your hand as well in this, Pankaj. We appreciate.
No, thank you, and thank you for your generous offer to make a custom T-shirt for me. I'm very proud owner of this T-shirt, and I'll be very proudly flaunting this everywhere I go. So thank you. All right, I'll come back to Rabi. Rabi, one of the interesting lines I read on your website and also on your Facebook page, which talks about the key differentiator of the offering, and I like this line that you have mentioned, that it is positioned to transform imagination into art. I'm very intrigued. Can you tell us more about this, please?
Absolutely. And just before I go into that, and to continue with what Sanjukta was saying, I mean, she has been an absolute pillar of support in this venture. and as with everything else. And one part of it is the public relations part, and I'm getting to know a lot more people through her. I came to know you through her. And the other bit is this, about the designs. Particularly, I get a feminine perspective from her. So while designing for everyone, like particularly while designing something for women, it's very important to get that perspective. And talking about that, that is an interesting segue into what I'm about to answer your question. So, transform your imagination into the design. Normally, when we go for a t-shirt, I mean, the one way is just a stock standard. You just go somewhere, pick up a t-shirt, whatever image is there. It could be the Statue of Liberty for that matter. Just pick it up and wear it. So that's one thing. Now, the other thing is, if you really do go about making a custom t-shirt, uh, people would typically ask you, like, okay, I mean, give us an image, give us a pretty high resolution image, which we can print on your t-shirt and give you. Now, this is where we differ. Well, there are some specific t-shirt designers, again, people who would probably take the pain of doing that manually for you. But where we significantly differ is, just tell us an idea, tell us what you are able to imagine inside your head, and we, using generative AI plus a few other tools thrown in, we will be able to give you a design that you can see in front of your eyes, and that too in a very quick amount of time. Our turnaround times are very quick because a significant chunk of work is done by generative AI. So that's what it means, like transform your imagination into design, which is something which you can see in front of you.
Right. Okay. Right. Thank you. Thank you for covering the people aspect, and also very, very holistically, you also touched down upon the technology aspect, as in how you're going about the process, really of designing the t-shirts, through either imagination, through ideas or suggestions given to you, and also you explained about the process that you're sharing the custom designs with your end customer to eventually make it suitable to their liking, or coming as close to their visual imagination as possible. I've personally experienced it. We exchanged a few ideas, and then finally you printed this t-shirt for me, which was a great personal experience. And I appreciated this personal aspect, because there are other similar technology vendors too who print t-shirts, but I found this experience very personal, very unique. So you're not just dealing with machinery, you're not just dealing with people, but process, but you're also dealing with genuine people like you who are behind a beautiful end product like this. So that was my personal experience, and
that was my suggestion as well.
Beautiful, Sanjucta.
That was my suggestion, because I said that Pankaj's happiness is behind the lenses.
Thank you for choosing something which is very dear to me, and my kids loved it too. Rabi, do you want to tell us more about the interactive process of how a customer or how an end client would place an order with you, how eventually you will customize it based on ideas, and typically what will be the turnaround time?
Sure. Thanks, Pankaj. So, yes, talking about the project and the process, you have first-hand experienced that process, as you said, and it's going to be pretty much similar for everyone. Now, one part is that people can visit our website. They can visit our AestheteHub.com.au. They can visit our Facebook page, AestheteHub. There are certain designs which are available there. They can see those designs and just let us know, get in touch with us. There are various communication mechanisms in both places through which they can get in touch with us. They can tell us that, okay, we like this design, so print us a number of t-shirts in this design. They can also ask us if we have some more designs that are probably not displayed on the web page, but they are still there available with us, which we do have. So we'll be able to share a few more standard designs that are available with us. Now, beyond that, if they want their imagination to come alive on a t-shirt, and that's where the process would be very similar to what you have gone through. Like, tell us what you want. Now, people could just give us an idea, or they can even give us an image. And just one word, I mean, I wouldn't say caution, like it's more a sort of disclaimer that if you are sharing any images with us, make sure that you have full copyright over that image, because we will be taking that image in, process it again through generative AI. We'll be coming up with something. Now, this final image is still based on the image that you had shared. So you ought to have copyright of that image. Now, if we do something like this, for example, the one that we have done for you, so this is not something which we'll be giving to anybody else. This is specifically for you. So any customer who goes through this custom designing process with us, the outcome that we have, so that is specifically for that customer. That's not going to be sold to anyone else or shared with anyone else. I mean, shared as in it might be shared as a testimonial, but not sold again as a copy. But the designs that we come up with on our own, I mean, there will be multiple copies of that sold depending on who wants it. So there are these two different ways people can get the t-shirts. In terms of roadmap in the future, but before going into the roadmap, I mean, I can also tell you a couple of other specific examples, like where in these last few weeks itself, we have seen cases where people have picked up standard design and people have picked up a custom design. So as a standard design, someone who was about to go on holidays. So this lady, she wanted two t-shirts of the same design, and I gave her a choice of about 4 or 5 standard designs, and she picked. I mean, I somehow judged her taste and offered her a set of designs. She picked up one of those, and she was very happy to see the design come up on the t-shirt. That's a case of picking up a standard design. And custom design, then there's someone else who wants like a design with Bengali nursery rhymes on the t-shirt. So she gave me the image, she gave me the rhymes. So that becomes her specific design. Now that is not going to be given to anyone else, just like yours is. So this is the other example. Going about, I mean, future products, there will be some. We'll have to explore more as we proceed. There are lots of different types of garments available. I mean, and since they're garments, then they are printable material. Printing is possible on lots of different types of garments. So we have certain things in our mind, and we'll, explore more to see what we can come up with. But definitely there will be a journey where more and more things are added as part of the portfolio.
Of course, part of growing up anyway. Thank you so much, Ravi, for giving that overview and also sharing your journey and roadmap ahead. Now, I would also like to learn something more about both of you here as part of this Outside the Box. As I mentioned, this page Outside the Box is really dedicated to thinking outside the box and thinking outside the comfort zone. We understand we are regular people doing the chores, making a living in a foreign country like Australia, now our home, of course, our adopted home, but always breaking that comfort zone, going out and doing something which we have not done before. That it's very daunting. There are several factors that make that process very daunting, and one of the factor is the fact the process, the factor of failure. So what motivates you, to give your best to your brand, and also, any future endeavors or to the growth plan? What is your inner drive that is motivating you?
In my case, my inner drive, I mean, so far, so this is probably the first venture where I'm trying to bring art into the commercial domain. I'm trying to build a commercial venture using or leveraging art. Before that, it has mostly been purely creative, and purely creative stuff. I mean, I don't really need any motivation. It just comes out. I mean, it's barely. I mean, it's very hard to contain that within yourself. Probably you'd realize it yourself. So you have an urge and you need to express, and you just do it. Now, bringing that into commercial context, yes, of course, some thought has to go into it because it has to be more disciplined. You need to gauge what can be acceptable to people. So all of that comes into picture. Motivation in this case is, yes, I mean, this is a wonderful opportunity, and we are in a very exciting age. We are in the times when a lot of things are possible by the use of technology. Generative AI, nobody had heard of it a few years ago.
Right.
And now it's a reality. It's helping us in every single website you go, every single tool that we use, you will see one or the other generative AI component plugged into it.
Yeah.
So leveraging that and being able to come up with wonderful works of art and having that on your t-shirt, I mean, that's something which itself is a motivating factor.
Yeah.
Now, of course, I have to keep my motivation channelized in a very disciplined sort of way, so that I am in touch with what people want and giving people actually what they are looking for.
Okay. Thank you, Ravi. Last segment of the video. So, books, music, and films, or maybe what books, music, and films have inspired you? Last segment.
This is really the toughest question for me because, I mean, I keep on reading so many books, and I also keep on watching films of all types. So there are many, to be honest, and I'll not even go into that area. I mean, there are plenty in my mother tongue, Bengali, that are always inspirational to me. But one book that I would say recent days that I have read and have had a profound influence on my thought process is *Sapiens*.
Sapiens. Okay.
Yuval Noah Harari. So that's a book in recent times that has really had a very profound influence on my thought process. Movies. No, I wouldn't even try to name. There are plenty of good movies, and it would really be an injustice to name one movie after the. As compared to the other one. So plenty of good movies. Hard to name one of them. I would, stop at that. Music. I have very specific. I would say choice there because I am focused more on Indian classical. I, to some extent, listen to Western classical. I don't understand everything of Western classical, but I do like to hear certain pieces. I'm very deep into Indian classical music. So, and that's what is my, feed, like food for the soul or something you can say. Yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful. And Sanjucta, your food for the soul. Yeah. Books, music, and films, please.
Okay, books. I'm not a very serious book reader, to be honest. I do some reading of technical books on and off, as per I'm required to, and I'm more into listening to music. I do listen to a lot of classical music, especially people teaching how to compose tan or phrases of a raga. If you know Hindustani classical, which I'm talking about. I listen to a lot of ghazals because poetry is something that amuses me. And Yeah, I think mostly I listen to music, and the movies I do watch a lot of movies because Ravi has an inclination towards Netflix and Prime, and he actually keeps track of what new comes up, whether it's a series or a movie. I keep forgetting the names, but I think the last series which I really loved was the Jahanabad of Love and War. I think I have not seen a better series than that, because the whole series is done with so much of intelligence, the rhythm, between love and war. I really love that series. I mean, please do watch if you haven't. It's in Sony Live.
Okay, nice. Thank you. Thank you so much, Rabi. Thank you so much, Sanjucta. It was really lovely talking to you. I have to summarize here. I read this up regarding small businesses in Australia, and I'm very pleased to learn that there are 2.5 million businesses, small businesses in Australia, employing roughly about 5.1 million people as trainees. These are the training grounds, which is, fostering and creating that culture that eventually become big economic giants. And also, 98% of the businesses in Australia qualify as small businesses. This percentage does not talk about businesses with $75,000 plus GST or less. So it's an industry that requires a lot of love, lot of nurturing, lot of local support through friends, common friends, extended friends, through social media networks. And I think I'm grateful for having a platform and opportunity to be part of such small business hustle. It was lovely talking to you, Rabi. Lovely talking to you, Sanjucta. Thank you for coming on the show.
Yeah.
And also, enriching me with your expertise, with your wisdom about AestheteHub. Any last few comments, Rabi?
Yeah, sure. First of all, thanks a lot for having us on the show. I hope your outside the box keeps growing like this, brings more people on the show, and becomes a really popular show as it goes forward. Thanks once again. And I also hope that people take more and more interest to what we are trying to do here. In terms of the concept of using generative AI to bring up the designs. In fact, the one that I'm wearing on myself has been generated completely by generative AI. It's hard to believe that, I mean, such an accurate impression of Isaac Einstein coming up like this from a AI tool. So similar to this, and even more exciting designs are awaiting people. So yep, I would hope people would be more and more interested towards this. And thank you once again.
Thank you, Rabi.
Thanks, Pankaj, for engaging us and talking to us. And I would request, all the viewers to please follow our page and visit our website. And one thing I can promise is we'll bring up good designs that will make memories for you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. This is Pankaj signing out. फिर मिलेंगे. Thank you.